Now that I got that done, I've got to take my caulking tube. I haven't opened it yet. I always take my tin snips and I'll cut this. I'll cut it at an angle. And I don't want to try to get the tip too big. Okay. See, cut the very tip. Sometimes caulk tubes go all the way up with a hole and then nothing shows up. See, there's nothing there. But other times you think, okay, I'll cut it about right there, and then you find out you cut it way too big. Okay, that's almost too small. But once I get it that far, I can do this. Keep your thumb out of the way. I slit my thumb open once upon a time because I tried to do the whole thing like this, and I was trying to be careful, and it was at night, and somehow my thumb got behind it and quick. Oh man, that was painful. Okay. There's a little burr there. See, I was doing it this way. It's really not the smartest thing to do, is get your thumb in the way. Okay. And I can take my tin snips, because I cut it, it kind of pinched it, and I can just do that and kind of open up the hole a little bit. Okay, that's it. I always try to go small first, and then if you want to make it bigger, you can. But once you cut it too much, you get too big of a hole there. It's harder to control your caulking, and you can't make your tip any smaller, right? And some of these has a little Teflon, little aluminum deal down here that you've got to plunge, but I don't think this one does. But I just so happen to have this on my caulking gun. When you get a caulk gun, look for one that has this, because then I can poke that down in there. Yeah, see, it'll go. And I can see where the caulking is coming out, and it didn't have one of those Teflon, those little aluminum foil pieces there. Some do, and if you're not paying attention, you could say, what's going on with this? I'm just cleaning this off from last time I used it. And you try to get it to come out, and you keep squeezing, and you think it's coming out, and then all of a sudden it starts squirting out of the bottom, and you're not seeing it because it's in your caulk tube. Caulk gun like that, you keep squeezing and it comes out here because you didn't plunge through this. Not all, like I say, not all caulking tubes have it. Only some of them do. It used to be every single tube years ago had that, and you had to break that. Okay, but nowadays most of them don't. But just still check it. Okay. All right. Enough of that. Now I'm ready to put this on. I'm kind of anxious to see how well that's going to go on. And I'm just going to do this a little bit at a time. Get you up here. See, that's not going to work because you're not going to see that when I get up there. I'll just put you over here. How am I going to set this up so you can see me? You just have to see the back of me. But I'm going to put just a little bit at the bottom first. I'm not even going to start at the top. I'm going to start at the bottom. And just going to put a little bit. And at first, when it starts coming out on a brand new tube, you don't have to depress it. You don't have to press too much because it's coming out pressurized. So sometimes you have to hit the button so you don't get too much just coming out, even though you think, I don't even have the handle on. Okay, I'm just going to go there for now. And sometimes you let the pressure off some caulking tubes and it still comes out. You gotta watch that, because you set your caulking tube down on your carpet or your nice floor or countertop, you turn around and it's all coming out the end because you weren't paying attention. This one's not doing it as much because it's like grout. Okay, so now, because I had a small tip, there's not much on there. Okay, I can put it on there. Because I have my masking tape there, the excess I can just wipe on the masking tape. There. I think that's going to look nice. See what I'm talking about? It's coming out the tip, and I've got to hit the end of that again. But I'll just have to be kind of mindful of that. I can wipe that off, put that on with my finger. Just doing the bottom first. Until I can see how this particular caulking comes out and how well it's going to go. Yeah, I'm liking that. See, it's still coming out, and it will keep coming out a little. Probably for maybe a quarter of the tube or an eighth of the tube. See, it's still kind of coming. I'm gonna set this down on the ground here. Get you in here. See how nice that looks? I'm just doing the bottom edge. Got rid of that. And this is sanded caulking. When that dries, it should be the same color. They only gave me one color at the store, and that's that natural gray. And this gray has been on here for a long time, and it's gotten white in certain areas for discoloration and the sun and water and all kinds of stuff. But this gray, it looks a little bit darker, but when it dries, it's going to dry a little bit lighter. Okay, so now I'm just gonna do this next little bit right here, and look at that. See, just that, got that much out of the tube, and I can still use that. See, I still haven't done anything. It's still coming out of the tube. Silly thing. And I like to have a nice clean tip before I start caulking again. So I just wipe my tip off. And you know, it would be a lot trickier to do this. Can you see if the tip was bigger? It'd be harder to control how much I'm putting in. And right in here, the crack is bigger, so I'm just depressing more in to the joint as I go, and I can kind of see it if I hold it in there tight. I don't want to just go on the outside, I want to push it in. So right in here I see a big crack, I'm pushing it right in. And now I can wipe this off again. If I got any more than that, I would be taking even more of the caulking off, and that's not what I want to do. Okay, push it right into the crack, not just the outside. I'm going to have to do that more on the top because there's a bigger crack up there. I don't want to just try to bridge over the top of it, because this will kind of help bond right on to the bottom of that cap. Because the cap, that gap, if I let that go and go and go, eventually that cap could become loose. I don't want that, do I? This was hardly any right in there. Okay. Well, that's all I have for this time. But I'll be back with more videos.